So this was actually perfect timing because our 2-year anniversary is on Friday the 14th.
Really?
Hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget it every year.
Wait, this year, this month on Friday is our 2 year exactly.
Of recording, yes.
I
Really?
remember last year. Last
Oh,
year we
recording.
recorded.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Last year we recorded exactly on the day of it.
Right. And I forgot what we were talking about. It was one of them Halloween movies, but yeah, so
Yeah.
I didn't even plan it that way. I just happened to look and I was like, oh shit, it's perfect timing.
It was one of the anthology Halloween movies that had like different stories.
Was it
You know
Tales
which
of
one I'm talking about?
Halloween?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Tales of Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even
Okay.
realize it was coming up. I had it saved in my calendar and I just happened to be looking at what was going on the rest of the week and I was like, oh shit, our 2-year anniversary is on Friday. So,
Hilarious.
yeah. So yeah, so this we don't have a specific topic. I guess the topic is just what are we watching or what have we been watching. So I figured one of the things that all three of us for sure have watched, because I just finished watching it, was Cobra Kai. So we can save that to the end. I know for a fact we've all seen that. So we can discuss that like towards the end. But um have you guys watched any newer movies? Like, have you guys gone to the theater to see anything? Because I think the last thing we saw was Woman King that we talked about. So, is there anything you guys have seen since then that was kind of as new?
I haven't been able to see anything new at the theaters yet, but I want to see Barbarian. Have y'all seen
Why
that?
do I keep hearing? I haven't seen a preview or anything, but I keep hearing people mention that movie.
It's got Pennywise in it. Well,
Yeah.
he doesn't look like Pennywise in Barbarian, but
He's
they
in
showed the
Hemlock Grove.
trailer.
Hemlock Grove. If anybody remembers that show.
They've shown the trailer at AMC for sure. It's this woman gets like a Airbnb and there's a guy already in the house when she gets there. None of that sounds familiar? No? Oh, okay.
Hell
That's how
no.
it starts. So,
Yeah, they don't really show anything else after that, which is good. They just show you like the setup to it. But I've been hearing it's good, but then again, I've been hearing a lot of horror movies are good.
mhm.
Like the score. I don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes, but the score on IDB is like 7.6 or something.
Mm.
For a
So
Barbarian.
maybe, yeah. But yeah, that's the one thing I want to see. But like I said, I haven't been watching it. Been able to go to the theaters. The only thing I've been watching is a lot of old school stuff.
Okay.
Nothing new, just stuff I haven't seen before. That's new to me, but it came
Mhm.
out like back in the let's say when did the Monsters come out? The original one, not the movie, like 60s.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's
it's
it.
before Adam's Family, right? Monsters is first. And was it
Nah,
black and white?
it's the same time. Like it's funny you said that because I went back and watched both the shows, and they both came out in the 60s at the same time. Kind of like, you ever know like a show or like a movie that's like, let's say Batman and Spider-Man No Way Home, they came out during the same time, and they're both really good.
Uh-huh.
So it's a good argument to say which one is better.
So like White House Down and what was the other one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
White
What
House
was the
Down
other
and
one?
Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah,
those come
yeah.
out
So
like the same year or two
It
apart?
was like same month. It was the
yeah, yeah,
same month. I remember that
yeah.
shit.
But I don't know which. I don't know if they both received good like positive reviews.
I think Olympus Has
I,
Fallen did better than
yeah,
White House Down, but it also came out first, so it's kind of hard to say. Like I actually enjoyed Olympus
It's
Has
like
Fallen better too, more than I did.
it was because it was the same movie, but one was more not taken as serious as the other.
mm.
Because you had
So
Channing Tatum
that's
and
probably what I
Jamie
meant.
Foxx.
Yeah.
Well, that seemed like I never seen White House Down, but I got the feeling that was more action comedy, and then Olympus Has Fallen was straight up action.
No, I mean,
Kind of sorta.
I think
Like
if you
how
compare,
the first Bad Boys, that's considered action comedy, sort of a bit, or the second one at least is more comedy. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see what you're shooting for, but it got to be a better example than that. But I understand what you're saying though.
Wait, so White House Down, y'all seen that though? Is that
yeah,
Yeah.
straight up action? Oh, really? Okay.
yeah. I didn't feel like it had like the comedic aspect to it. I think like individually
Yeah.
it's got funny stuff in it, but it wasn't meant to be an action comedy. It was on the same
It
line
was
as Olympus Has Fallen.
it was on more of a line of Die Hard. You know how Die Hard, it's
Yeah,
kind of funny shit happens, but it's not it's not meant to be a comedy.
Right.
I would say Die Hard with a Vengeance is more of a like has funny moments in it.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
what I
not
mean.
a comedy, yeah.
So it's me.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
There's only one Die Hard that lives in my mind, really. So when I say,
No, I'll tell you the truth. I've gone back to watch like all three Die Hards, and I enjoy the first two, but the third one is the best.
Yeah,
of my opinion.
yeah.
Because Samuel Jackson, it's good having Samuel Jackson, Bruce Willis going back and forth.
Yeah,
that's what I like about it. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So whatever I say, Die Hard, it's not that I hate the other ones. They're still good, but only one lives in my mind. Like I don't even think about the other ones.
Mm-hmm. And there's ones after that too, isn't there? Like one or two.
Oh, those are terrible. Those were terrible.
I did enjoy the fourth one after
with the son
one, but the fifth one. No, I didn't enjoy that one. No. The fourth one is with the daughter. He's trying to save the daughter or something.
Yeah, because with her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Or the boyfriend was a douchebag, and I guess they were trying to
see
if the daughter could hook up with Justin Long.
They kind of run together, man. Both of them are equally bad. So I don't know.
I never seen the fifth one. I heard that was worse.
Well, maybe I haven't seen the fifth one. I'm thinking about the fourth one.
I didn't stay away from the fifth one.
Okay, so Josh, you haven't seen any, not even new, like on streaming services. You haven't seen any newer movies?
Nah. The only thing I've been playing. Have you ever heard of this game called Walking Dead Telltale series?
I've heard of it. I remember when it came out a while ago. If it's the same one, it came out a while ago on iPad.
Yeah. It's like the levels are in episodes,
and
it looks like the comic book. And what you're doing is all you do is kind of like choose like what you say to people.
Yeah.
The outcome of it. Yeah. So the reason why I mentioned that because I know the last season of Walking Dead's out right, like it's coming out, and the reason why I like this game is that it reminds me of what's up. Sorry, I missed something.
Oh no, I was just laughing because you said the last season. I was like, I still haven't finished that other season. I have no plans. No plans on going back.
I tried. I'm letting Sam watch it for me. And when he's like, I don't care, I'm like, damn. But what I like about the game is that it reminds me of what got me into the first three seasons of Walking Dead, to where you have to make these difficult decisions, and it's like there's no winning to it. No matter what you do, somebody's gonna go against you. So that's what I like about it. So I recommend playing the game than watching the new show.
I don't know which one I played, but I played one similar like that. But you're a little girl. Well, first you're this guy,
the black dude.
Yeah, that black guy.
And then the second season you're Clementine. So
it's the same. It's the same game. It's the same game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have 4 seasons. Playing that, and I recommend that more because
in the show.
That's hella funny.
No, because in the show everybody just doesn't give a fuck about it, so it's kind of like
it overstayed its welcome. It needs to end. Yeah. It needed to end a while ago. So, and that's why I'm gonna finish it. The last season was a struggle to get through. But because it's ending, I'm gonna watch the last season. But I have to watch it in real time, so I can't let it build up and like watch multiple episodes. I have to watch it every week that it's released. Otherwise, it's gonna be a chore.
That shit is like homework.
Episode.
So I have to stay on top of that. Lamar, have you seen anything streaming or theaters either?
I don't know if you guys saw my post about that show Jungle.
Well, I was talking about movies first. I meant movies.
Oh, movies. Yeah. I watched that Tyler Perry movie. That the Jazzman's Blues.
Oh, that is his. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah, it was cool. It was kind of rushed, but it was cool. The ending.
I saw when I was looking for movies for us to discuss. I saw that, but I was like, maybe not. So I heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and then I watched. Well, I tried to watch that Regina Hall movie. I could not connect.
Which one? The Honk for Jesus?
Yes. Yeah. I watched like a good 30 minutes. I was like, I can't connect to this shit. Like it's not hitting for me. So I had to turn that shit off. Like, but then I wanted to watch that the Ludacris one, and then the other one with what's the girl with Journey Smollett?
Lou.
Yeah. I want to watch both of those.
The one with Ludacris is the one with Queen Latifah. I love how you're just saying who's in it and not saying the name of the movie. I'm right behind you to say it, but I can't remember the Queen Latifah Ludacris, the name of that one, but they're like on a road trip or they're driving or something, right?
Yeah.
I want to see that one too, but I can't think of the name of it. You said you saw that or you haven't seen it?
I haven't. Those are the two we're supposed to watch.
Okay, and you haven't been to the theater since Woman King?
Nope. Well, we got our tickets for Black Panther already.
Yeah, I got ours too. Where are you going to see it?
Same AMC.
Mm-hmm. We're
7 o'clock.
We're going Are you going Thursday?
Yep.
10th? Okay. Yeah, we're going to Grand Lake on the 10th. At 6.
Stay out of the sea.
I went and saw Don't Worry, Darling and Smile recently.
So was Smile as cinematically crazy as everybody's saying? Because I've seen people say it ain't shit but jump scares, and then I've seen people do it. Well, I've seen one person do a deep dive on it. Can you guess who that person is?
Yeah. I will say that yes, there are jump scares, but I thought it was a good movie. Like for what it was, for the what do you call it? The premise. I thought it was well done. I enjoyed it, but I'll watch scary movies. I like scary movies, but I don't like getting scared. So there was a lot of me not looking at the screen because I didn't want to get scared. But
you gotta get over that.
But I could see, like I would catch a glimpse or I'd hear something and be like, okay, yeah, that would have got me. But one part did get me. I didn't look away in time. But I thought so I saw those two in theater recently.
What about Don't Worry, Darling? Was it as good as you expected?
I had a good idea, but a lot of it just didn't make sense.
Well, this is what Harry Styles said, Tasha, and let me know if he's correct, okay? He said, what was cool about seeing this movie is that it feels like a movie.
I mean, it was a movie.
It was I'm not lying.
Don't say anything else because I want to watch it. Don't say anything else.
He said what's cool about the movie is it felt like a movie. I don't know what else it fucking can feel like, but you said it feels like a movie, Tasha. Then I guess he was right.
I mean, it technically was a movie. It is a movie, but as far as feeling like it, I mean, I felt like I was watching a movie, so I don't.
I gotta watch that.
But yeah, no, it like I said, it was a good idea. When it comes together, it's like okay, but like I said, a lot of stuff that when you think back to it, you're like, what? Like that didn't make sense. So yeah, it was a disappointment, but it wasn't horrible.
It seems like this is what we always say, like on paper it sounds like a good idea, but the execution just didn't flow well.
It sounds like my kind of movie.
Well, I wouldn't say don't waste your time. I would say like maybe when it's streaming to check it out, but I wouldn't say go to the theater to watch it.
Yeah. So. I'm saying it sounds like my kind of movie because it sounds like you have to pay attention and you got to go back and try to put the shit together, like one of those type of movies.
Yeah, because there was a couple of things I was like, okay, well, because something would happen, I'd be like, what's going on? But it wasn't really explained. So it was one of those things where it's like you go back and be like, you analyze it yourself, but there's no way to confirm it unless other people are talking about it too, and then they can say, oh yeah, that makes sense, or yeah, that's what that was. So I don't know. No. Josh wouldn't like it.
But no, that's my type of movie, like Tenet and those type of movies, like even bringing it to the show I was talking about, like that I like when you have to think about shit that happened before and kind of put it together. Because I like predicting shit so much. So when something doesn't make sense and then they're like, well, this is why, then I got to go back and think about it. Then it's like, oh, that was cool. I like that type of shit.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the show, so I did the 90s movie challenge that I did last month. And so I watched.
You only did like 4 black movies. You only did like 4 black movies.
did movies that I hadn't seen in a while. So everything on that list were movies I hadn't seen in a while or hadn't seen at all. It wasn't anything.
4 Blacks.
That means I've
You
seen.
should have did half. You're half black. You should have did half.
I mean,
days,
if you think
black
of the
movies.
percentage of movies that are out there, then that adds up.
Was there any films that were Mexican? Like,
not a single one.
There's only 3 Mexican films in the world like that. You can't. That's not.
I didn't watch them, and I didn't watch them.
You could have watched Desperado, Once Upon a Time, Machete.
Yes, Selena.
Machete wasn't in the 90s.
Anyway, it's not a race thing. I watched 90s movies. I was watching Temptations like, how the fuck have I never watched this movie before?
Yeah, you should slap the shit out of yourself for that. When I saw that on there, I was like, what? Yeah, you slap yourself too.
You knew I hadn't seen it before.
I know.
You should be happy I finally watched.
Right, that counts. It counts for something, right?
5 Heartbeats?
Yeah.
That's not the same. It's not the same. It's almost the same. It's not the same. You know what? You know what's funny? That's the perfect example of the movies we were talking about where it's like the same, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought. And
isn't 5 Heartbeats kind of like based off of like some singers from the Temptations? Like
it's based off those groups from that time.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why I didn't watch Temptations, because I watched 5 Heartbeats so much when I was younger, and when that came out, I was like, I don't want to watch something that's the same as the movie that I really like.
So you
watched it, but I watched.
So you watched White House Down. I was like,
this movie's actually pretty good for a TV movie. Like,
pretty good. This nigga.
Hey,
that movie is fantastic.
It is not as good as 5 Heartbeats.
It's just as good as 5 Heartbeats.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is right there.
I would have to ask Dad how he feels about 5 Heartbeats.
Give a damn what your daddy think. I'm telling you, in my opinion.
No, so you got what happens is, Josh, you got to watch it so you can compare the two.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll do that, but like, since Dad is more like, he loved it, like, I'm pretty sure he liked the Temptations a lot and grew up watching 5 Heartbeats, so I would have to. Was that again?
You're talking about the group, the Temptations group, or the movie?
The group Temptations. So I didn't know
who didn't.
No, like, the movie.
When you watch the movie, after knowing so much history about certain things, you might not like the movie as much. But me, who doesn't know anything about the Temptations, could be like, "Hey, that's a good movie." Well, while I don't know anything about stuff that happened in the past.
Right. That's why she said you should watch it and give your own opinion.
About the group.
Okay, gotcha. But well, from that perspective, yeah, I could do it if we're looking at that.
Yeah.
Where somebody's going in totally blind and comparing. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, you'd have to make that comparison yourself. But yeah, so I did that. Now I'm doing horror movies, so kind of it gives me a way to watch movies that I haven't seen before, which is cool. So Nikki and Kenny gave me a list of horror movies to watch, so I've been working on those and switching some movies out without telling them, because I'm not trying to watch 4 installments of Friday the 13th. I'm like, just give me one. Give me the best one.
Yeah.
Well, I watch all 4 of them.
I remember Nikki gave me like our list of what we thought are the best ones.
Yeah.
Some of them are similar, some of them are different completely. Do you plan on watching most of them, or?
I plan on watching all the ones I can find. Yeah, I've already watched like 8 or 9 of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, Trick or Treat counted because I went to see that, and Smile counted because I went to see that. So I added those on there. But like Hellraiser, I've never seen before.
Oh, good luck. Good.
I watched it. I watched it already. I had never seen that.
Yeah. Did you stay awake?
I didn't find it boring.
Man, it's not boring.
I used to watch Hellraiser as a little kid and fall asleep. That shit was so boring. There was nothing scary. It
wasn't scary. It was not scary.
Boring.
I mean, you can't deny that it's fucking gruesome. It's pretty much one of the fucked up things I've seen in any horror movie. But
I had Ivy on my lap facing the TV, and I was watching it. I was like, I know you're just a newborn, but let me cover your eyes.
She was probably asleep. Those movies are boring as fuck. The only interesting one was, and I probably ain't even Hellraiser, I'm probably confusing something else. When the girl's dad was like in the attic, and she was bringing him people so he can eat them and put the skin. Is that Hellraiser?
Isn't that Hellraiser? The first one.
That's the first one.
That's the only.
And it was a mistress. It was a mistress.
Hold on. Okay, so correct what you're saying. The dad's wife started bringing up people to get killed off. It's his brother that she had an affair with when he first died and he came back.
In the attic.
Yeah.
The dog.
That's the first one. The one we're talking about, the one that you like, Lamar.
Oh, I didn't say I like. It was it. I didn't mean if I said I like. I didn't mean to say I like. It was interesting.
The first one.
Yeah. But that was even boring as fuck.
I could see that, but I wasn't bored. I'll say that I wasn't bored with it.
Well, yeah,
but it's definitely a time.
Yeah, well, today's standards, a horror movie has to be fucking quick. Jump scares.
Yeah.
No, not necessarily, because Stephen King's movies were good as fuck, but they were slow paced too. Yes.
Which one? Which ones?
What's the one when the people were cats? What was that shit? That shit was crazy as fuck, man.
They're entertaining. They're not.
Hey, my opinion is my opinion.
I'm sorry. From a film perspective, we're going to be talking about films. They're not good. They're entertaining.
Stephen King, I like how Stephen King thinks. Therefore, I can sit through it.
Well, yeah,
the slow pace.
Man, he's on coke making all these stories. Of course, he ain't gonna be bored.
Hey,
man.
Well, I was high with it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Like, I think one of the best like Stephen King films is It Chapter 1. I would say that, or Pet Sematary.
The old school It's right. The old school It's are good.
Yeah, horror films. Now, as far as like dramatic films, like Green Mile, probably or Shawshank, the best Stephen King like adapted film. Whether it's horror or not.
You haven't said a bad Stephen King movie yet. Give me a bad one.
You haven't seen a good one yet.
Wasn't that Johnny Depp movie a Stephen King movie where he was split personality?
Okay. That's good.
What is it?
I did not like that one.
That one's good, but I cannot watch that again. It's so
Secret Window.
What? Yeah. I don't know what that is.
It's Secret Window with Johnny Depp and John Turturro.
Johnny Depp's a writer. He's like living in a cabin, and then some guy comes to the house like harassing him. But it turns out, well, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, there's a twist. But
I don't remember that one.
The guy that's harassing him, thinking that he stole his story or whatever. John Turturro. Yeah.
Stole my story.
I say this like I say the Skeleton Key. They're good movies, but they're boring the second time.
Skeleton Key.
You know what happens. Yes, but boring at times. It's slow.
It's like the others. The others is slow, but the end makes it. Mm-hmm. Well, you said
but
watching
the others
the second time is
good,
slow.
Man.
It could be. It's slow, but like you'll notice certain things that you didn't really pay attention to the first time, but now that you know the ending, it's cool seeing like, oh, that makes sense because I'm not trying to spoil anything, but it's still kind of slow to where it's like, okay, nothing's really happening. Not saying it's bad. It's just. You wouldn't go back and rewatch it a lot.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't go back and watch any Stephen King movie. But it's like in the moment when you first watch it, the anticipation of trying to figure. Like I said, I love movies when I gotta figure out the fuck's going on. So the whole time I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Then we get to the end, it's like, oh, that was crazy, and then that's it. Like I'm not gonna go back and I haven't watched the others again. But when I first watched it, I love that movie. But I have no reason to go watch it again. It's like watching Us. When I tried to watch it again, it was like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, I think like with the others and what's another one?
Sixth Sense. That takes that.
Yeah, because when you get the reveal, when you go back, you catch them. So certain things like a second viewing does help because you're like, oh shit, well, how did I not catch this type of thing?
It could help, but I don't care by then. Then it's like, then I'm watching like the motherfucker's a ghost. Like, what am I? Then I'm watching it with that attitude. Like I said, it's the same thing as Us. Like when we went and tried to watch it again, it was just like, why am I doing this again? I already know what happened.
Yeah, I can rewatch movies. I've seen others. I don't know how many times.
Well, right now you can just go on YouTube and just check out all the things that people like.
They give you all the scenes.
Yeah. Save you some time.
But now Hellraiser's like watching a Jack Nicholson movie. Like they're so fucking boring. It's nobody cares when you're watching this. It's like,
You don't care. You
okay,
can't say nobody
I
cares.
don't.
You don't care.
Yeah, nah.
In my mind, the people in my mind, with the people in my mind, those motherfuckers don't care.
Okay, I'll say this. I think the one horror movie that I can say somebody can say is boring is Friday the 13th because they don't really have no shit.
The first
most
one?
of them.
Oh,
well, first one most of all because there's no really plot driving the story. It's just
that's
at a camp.
But that's not the purpose. I don't think the purpose is the storyline for those movies.
Well, yeah, but like still, you could make it like some other ones are entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's no story, like no, not the purpose, it still can be boring because there is no purpose. They're just there to get killed. But when it takes 30 minutes to get to it, it's slow. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but it's so I think when I say it's the purpose and the reason why I don't, it's not for me. That's why I call them stupid. But it's for the teenage girls who are watching it in the dark and like, what's gonna happen? Oh, and you hear the all the bullshit go. I think it's just for that. It's for the scary moments. Who gives a No, I'm saying the people watching it.
Oh, okay.
No, not in the movie. I'm saying it's for that. For the let's do a scary movie. It's the storyline don't really mean shit.
I mean, I get
all of those movies are dumb. That's why Jason's character is dumb and Michael Myers' character is dumb to me because it's like it's pointless. It's a pointless movie to me. That the whole shit is pointless.
I would say like a lot of horror movies can be considered pointless if you're looking from that.
They can.
Yeah.
Movies, period, can be considered pointless.
Yeah,
they can.
It's all preference. Lamar, you said you watched something that was a limited series.
Yeah, it was out there. It's on Amazon Prime.
And what was that about?
It was like it's just funny because it caught me off guard. So I made Samaria watch it with me.
What was it called?
It was like it's called Jungle. And it was like it's kind of like the London hood shit, which for some reason I really like all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. But it's like it started off like it just starts like you like what's going on, and then when they get in the car, they just start rapping. They started like rapping with the fucking what's the shit Pop Smoke stole from London? Not just Pop Smoke, everybody stole it from London. That type of sound. I don't know what it's called. Mm-hmm. Whatever the fuck that sound is. Drill music. So they're rapping.
I thought drill started in like the Midwest.
No, it was started in London and they stole that shit. No. Okay. They're calling it drill, but that's different. Because what you're talking about, the drill, that was Chief Keef, right?
I don't know. I want to say Chicago.
Because yeah, it was Chief Keef. To me, it was two different sounds. So London was doing like this heavy ass. You hear every Pop Smoke sound, they always got that heavy ass bass with the beat. Mm-hmm. And then even what's his name does now, Fabio Foreign. Mm-hmm. They do that heavy ass beat, but London was doing that first.
Okay.
And then they kind of took it and just ran with that shit. But so during certain scenes, like when they're having like arguments, they rap like that instead of actually talking. Then they go back to the talking.
Is it?
And then it's like this.
Fish.
No, not necessarily. Yeah, but not necessarily because it's like.
I was like, is it like how Blind Spotting they would flow for a bit and then all of a sudden they get back to regular dialogue?
Blind Spotting.
Remember the TV show? The TV show where they.
How often do they do that though?
I thought they like dancing.
Yeah, they just did dancing, but no, okay, but in a sense, he's right. That's how it was. Like it was like it's a regular show, but then they'll have those moments.
Spoken word. She was doing like spoken word, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's what they were doing. But it would be like if there's an important conversation, then they'll rap the conversation, and then they go back to regular shit, and then they have another scene where they're rapping again. So it was like it's extremely artsy. So that's what I said. Everybody won't the first rap. They were like, "Man, get the fuck out!" Like I understand people doing that, but I was into it. And then they did a cool way where they connected two different stories. So you get through one story, and then they kind of jump to another story. But then while I'm watching the second story, I'm like, I remember that dude from this other one, and then they tie it together. So I thought the shit was cool as fuck.
And it was a series. How many episodes was it?
6 maybe.
That sounds more like a movie.
It seemed like it could have been a movie, but it's some long ass episodes though.
Okay. So Jungle, anything else that you've watched?
We've been watching Yellowstone heavy.
I still haven't gotten back to that.
I
I'm
gotta
still on
check that
episode
out.
6.
No, we're on the 3rd season now.
Oh,
We've been watching that shit heavy.
Have
And then,
you-
you know, I watch Power in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, I'm liking this season of Atlanta. I didn't care too much for the last one.
It's because they went back to the roots of what Atlanta was.
Yeah, and I could see that. Josh, have you checked out Yellowstone yet?
Nah. Like right now, I'm in like that. Since October, I'm in the Halloween mode, so I'll probably be watching a lot more. Like I was thinking about checking out Penny Dreadful, I think it's called, with like Frankenstein and Dracula. So I'm kind of holding off on like other non-horror like shows that you wouldn't
Until
watch.
November.
Yeah, it's my birthday month, and then I'll start watching that.
Okay, have you
I'll
watched?
finish The Wire while I'm at it.
just get through it, man. Just finish it up.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. You know, just other things come out interesting.
Like 4 episodes left for like months now.
Yeah, just get it out of here.
4 hours of me like not caring.
Yeah.
Last few episodes were not that good. Every other season was good. This was not. Sorry.
Oh, we are watching. Well, yeah, I got Katrina watching this. This show called Reasonable Doubt, directed by Kerry Washington. That shit is good too.
Okay, I heard of that one.
That's good too.
And that's a series, like a weekly.
Yeah, I watch it on Hulu though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good series.
Okay. Yeah, Atlanta. I'm watching that. Abbott Elementary. Great. So Grey's Anatomy
Hilarious
came back. You guys don't watch Grey's Anatomy, but it came back, and they did this thing where they introduced a whole new set of young doctors. So it kind of lost me. So because I'm at a point, I'm like, okay, rather than introducing a new set of doctors, why don't you just end the show? But I don't know if they're trying to do the SVU thing, because SVU's had so many detectives come and go, and it's still going. So I don't know if that's what Grey's Anatomy's doing, but it's like, because this isn't the first time they did it, so they did it again. So I'm like, okay, enough. Like,
you know what? And that's how I feel. That's kind of how I feel about Game of Thrones, because I watched 1.5 episodes with Katrina, and I'm like, I don't care to be reintroduced to a whole new cast of people. I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't want to do this.
You talking about the new series that's out?
Yeah,
House of Dragons.
Yeah, I'll be trying, but I'll be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I don't think I even watched the full first episode. I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, they tried to explain so much in one episode. They gave you 20,000 names and tried to draw all these connections. And you just sitting there like, I don't want to think this hard. I really don't want to do this. You could have just gave me the prequel to what we saw from the first one, and I would have been all right maybe with that. But I don't want to draw all these fucking connections. I don't want to do it.
Another one that's like that, Sam told me, was Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings show. He said it's exact the same show.
The preview looked good though.
It is, but this after watching this show, you have to be one of those fans like, oh, that's cool. That's that person. That's supposed to be a younger version of that. Oh, what are they doing? I don't know, but it's cool that they have the person.
He said, I don't know.
That's what it's not like.
No idea.
It's just that tells me what's going on. Like when he's telling me how like, oh, it's cool, but it's like by this 8th episode, you're not telling me like you're not saying like, oh man, it's better. I'm hearing the same reaction. It's more like, oh, this character, that character, younger version, different actors are appearing, but they're not doing anything. They're not showing you how they became, how they are. They're just kind of just already established. And I'm like, okay, then why the fuck do I care? I know what the outcome of it is. So either you need to give me an origin story or somebody else.
But you know what? You know what? I wasn't a fan of Lord of the Rings, so I might appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
No,
and that's the thing. What I was saying is that the people like this is a lot of fan service where it's like this characters that like they have the characters from the movies, and so you're only invested in it only because you know the characters. But if you don't know the characters, they don't show shit about this. I mean, you can try and you can watch it and might like it for what it is, but what I'm getting at, it's pretty much just like for fan service. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
So somebody will come in, somebody will come in, and everybody be giving it up, and I be looking like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah. No, for real. You're like, oh, that's cool, but why the fuck do I give a shit?
Yeah, like that. Like,
I could be wrong. You might like it, but I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, and this shit ain't working on me. I'm a fan that knows the fan service. Other people that don't know that shit get lost in it. That's the right there. So, and like eight episodes, you only got a couple more left, and
damn, 8 episodes, and you haven't got no 8 episodes, no different reactions.
No, it's the same. It's worse reactions.
Fuck.
But as far as like somebody that I'm talking to personally, it's Sam, and it's always the same reaction to where it's not enough to where I want to check it out, and that's I'm writing it off. I'm not gonna check that out or House of Dragons.
Shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't into either of those, so I'm good.
Then I would recommend it. Before anything, one more show I want to recommend. It's not new, it's old school, but it still holds up today. It's a show ahead of its time, and that what we talked about earlier, Addams Family, the original black and white one. That show, like I said, is ahead of its time.
Really?
Like there's certain things in that episode that would have like it's consistent today to where, okay, I'm not gonna say what the episode's about, but you know how like when a kid goes to school, they get upset like, oh, and they tell their parents like, I can't believe you're teaching my kid this. What kind of like, you know, like that overprotective, not trying to censor your kids from certain things. You know what I mean? Like that stuff along with everything else that Addams Family, you know, touches on, and it's actually funny. So that's the one for this month of Halloween. I recommend people who watch this watch, you know, just the first few episodes of Addams Family just to see if you know what I'm talking about. Of like saying that it holds up to where it's being funny, even a little bit better than the movies. Movies didn't really were good, but they didn't really touch on a certain topic like the original show did. So that's why I recommend that. Yeah, on Prime Video if anybody has it. Also, one more thing, I highly recommend. Perfect example of a film that's entertaining where you can turn off your brain but not feel like a dumbass. Is this? Oops, sorry, was it this?
Is that
right
Life?
Here? Yeah, Life.
What is that?
Life.
Called Life with Ryan Reynolds and Jake
Alien
Gyllenhaal.
movie.
It's an alien movie.
I never heard of one.
Yeah, like I said, this one. When people tell me like Josh, just enjoy the movie for what it is, that's the definition. So when people say they don't like the movie and they like other movies that are bullshit, but for some reason they think it is, I cannot recommend this movie enough. But anyway, moving on to the next discussion.
Cobra Kai. I just finished it yesterday or the day before. So you guys finished it, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
It's on the same path. It's still good.
Okay. I was wondering if you thought maybe it was like up or down or the same. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I think it's better than the last season. If I had to choose a season that I thought was kind of pushing it a little bit more than it already does, it was season 4.
I will say the way it ended has me worried. Because now it's like you're going past. It's already not based on reality, but you're going past. You're going. What are you going to do now? Like, okay, you got rid of this sensei. This sensei escaped jail. What the fuck are you going to do now?
Yeah, who's the main threat for the next season, or who's the main antagonist? Yeah.
And this is what pissed me off. This dude on my job told me, because he's into it too. He was like, when I said, what are they going to do now that he's out of jail? What is he going to be, a convict teaching kids? And he said, no, you remember they got that big tournament overseas. I was like, so you're telling me he's going to go overseas and train some kids to fight?
I don't know if he's like, I have a feeling, because there's a certain scene in the season where they were trying to show you like maybe he could have to redeem himself to know that he wasn't always an asshole. So maybe I thought he was gonna redeem himself, but then he flipped back to being like, man, fuck it. Yeah.
But what he was saying is that Asian lady liked him. The Asian lady didn't even like the other guy with the ponytail. What the fuck is his name?
Terry Silver.
Yeah.
The sensei with the ponytail that was Nichols.
Yeah, she really liked Kreese.
Mm.
So he was saying Kreese is going to escape and go join her dojo somewhere overseas to fight in this big tournament. Maybe she takes it because she was talking about expanding. So maybe she takes Cobra Kai overseas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if they, it's like now you're stretching the shit out of this.
But I have a
the
feeling
last season, right?
There's always like twists and turns with this show. So I have a feeling that maybe he's going there to probably pretend that he actually wants to be Cobra Kai, because it seems like he does care about what's her name, the one girl.
Yeah, just her. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems that what's the point of showing him that he actually does care, but he's fucked over so many people. Why should anybody believe him? So maybe he's trying to do this to redeem himself, but it's kind of up in the air, and that's what I like about Cobra Kai. There's always twists and turns.
Yeah, always something gonna happen.
Yeah. So, but what's her name? The Asian lady, the evil lady.
Where they're fighting kids.
Yeah.
So Tasha, you saw what I was talking about, right? Remember when I said these kids should not be able to fight her? Like they should not. But that's when you got to dismiss reality. That's when you got to just be like, man, fuck this shit. Hold that movie up again, Josh. Josh, hold that movie up. Hold that movie up again.
If she wanted to, but it's karate.
These kids should not be able to fight Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Lamar, but I don't think it's so far fetched compared to other shows. Like another show where they open another dimension to another world, and another girl has
that's fantasy
and everything. That's a little bit stretch.
That's fantasy.
Yeah, that's sci-fi.
Is Cobra Kai fantasy, or is it supposed to be based in reality?
It's fiction, all right.
But it's supposed to be based in reality.
Realistic, though.
No, because I never heard of an All Valley champ or karate just as good as football. Like when people say like, "Oh, karate's like football," no, I never fucking heard that. That's fantasy right there.
But what I'm saying is, it's based on reality. It's the ridiculousness. It's like Footloose. How dancing is illegal. It's based on ridiculousness.
It is,
but you have to dismiss it for the show.
It's a possibility.
Not at all.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
I was gonna say maybe Kreese was gonna go and take over Cobra Kai, but they dismantled. Did all the kids leave, or is there still some that he could?
I don't think it's dismantled.
I think every kid left it, but they can still recruit other kids. Like, like now everybody might get together. All the bullies or whatever might come together to fight all these new villains. Just like how they introduced the new Asian, what's her name? The new teacher, the second antagonist of Cobra Kai season 5.
Yeah, but there could be those kids that aren't really tripping off of what Silver did and would still be in Cobra Kai. So if Kreese comes back, he could have some of the old Cobra Kai kids.
Yeah, but all the main ones, like even the kid, the main bully kid, the one that was a wrestler, the Asian kid, he threw his shirt down. So it seems like if there is any kids that stay, it's not the main ones.
He was annoying as hell. Did he always talk like that?
Always.
Oh yeah,
It was more in my face this season.
Talk about the black scent, right? The black scent, where it's just like, dude, calm the fuck down.
Extra.
Yeah, but okay. So what I'm saying is that
I think went more over the top with that.
Yeah. So with doing my job, saying what he said, and then for the fact that they ended with both being invited to that tournament, it sets it up for all of these kids to join Miyagi-Do and go overseas for this tournament, where Kreese is going to be teaching fucking assassins. But it sets it up for that.
But the other dojo wasn't accepted, were they?
They were both accepted.
No, yeah. Cobra Kai, but you're saying that the Asian lady with the ponytail, that her dojo, that
she's Cobra Kai.
There.
Yeah.
She's Cobra Kai.
Oh, I thought she was from. I thought she was just assisting, but was from another dojo in back home.
I think she was assisting, but it seems like since Terry Silver is out of the picture,
that she'll take over.
She'll take over.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was her whole thing. He invited her to team up to spread Cobra Kai around the globe. That was his whole plan. Okay. So, but she really liked Kreese before she liked him, but she just did it anyway. So the whole thing was now it's a Cobra Kai partnership. So now we're all Cobra Kai over here.
Okay, so Kreese could technically be going back to Cobra Kai, and there will still be kids.
Yeah, overseas though.
Yeah.
Because he's on the run. He's on the run from escaping prison.
Right.
Okay. Well, you know what's funny about this season? I felt they kind of like made the kids kind of sidelined and focus more on the original cast from like the Karate.
They kind of did, yeah.
Yeah, Chosen, Johnny, with
the
Mike
guy with
Barnes.
the furniture store.
Yeah, that shit had me cracking up. I actually thought
that guy is fucking hilarious. Oh, I kind of feel like the story of the missing dad was pointless at the end of it.
It was, but I didn't think they lingered on it too much. Just like it was like the first episode. So even though it was pointless, but I'm glad they didn't hang on to it because I'm like, what was the point of that?
But
it was like why build it? So they built him up to be hella interesting, and then he just left. So it was like what was the because he was like, remember you think he's good, and then you find out he's like this underground dude who's doing these fights. And then it's just like, I want to come home, and then he leaves. It was like fuck, like, so maybe they'll bring him back because he was promoting underground fights.
Yeah,
maybe but I was like, that kind of was disappointing. Like, you guys just leave it at that. I liked how the brothers came together though. Like, I like how they do little shit like that. Like, they had to fight it out. He's like, you guys fight it out. Yeah. And then you find out you guys are about to be brothers technically. I was like, I like how they did that though.
Yeah, if you bring it back the next season, then it'll make sense. If not, then it'll be like, what was the point? Besides them getting their
I'm glad they didn't do that whole thing where he tries to like hold him for like not ransom, but being like be like the main guy, and all of a sudden Johnny, like, I thought that would have been too much. So I'm kind of glad. Yeah. Like, I'm glad they didn't do that, even if it would make more sense if they did that, since they were building him up to be this, seemed like he was gonna be like a side villain by carrying over. So but overall, the comedy always lands in this show, no matter what.
I'll say I ain't afraid to say it. The comedy and the emotion, like they be bringing emotions to that shit. Regardless, if you're invested, they get the emotional scenes. Like, I don't know, it's like they got the superhero scenes when somebody shows up and I'm like, yes, like a little kid, like, yes, kick his ass. Like, I was cheering for what's the big dude's name? The one who fucked everything up. The one who had what's his name put in jail.
The guy from Tanya.
Yeah. It's like I was cheering for him too. It's like you get those scenes where it's like, yes,
he was
like a little kid.
The part with Heavy cracking up is when he's all like, he's using Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
like a metaphor to what?
And he was
I like how Hawk was still a nerd because he was like, no, what are you saying about D&D?
Them fights.
I like how they bring it back.
But okay, one scene I would say is probably like one of my favorites, even out of the whole series, is the scene where the therapist is talking to Kreese, and you're seeing all the things that he went through to why he is the way he is, and then now you just took it too far, because I remember we talked about this to where you can say fuck this dude, but you see him, it's like, oh dude, he's this fucking Frankenstein's monster or some shit, if you want to say, like something that made him the way he is today. So that's why I liked it, going through the person that he loved, the person that fucked with his head and made him who he is, and then the people that he affected after that, the young kids. So that's why I was like, what's the point of having this scene in if you're not really showing that John Kreese could have some redemption, since he's not always been a fucking dick all the time. So that's where I was focused on. Maybe in the next season they can show like what was the point of that. Of him.
I think the next season, because I feel like he dove off the deep end when he decided to break out of jail. It was kind of like he's trying to be good. He tried to turn that page, but then it was just like, man, fuck it. But I think, like you said, he cares about that girl, and I think that's what's going to be at the end of the next season. It's going to be his care for her, because she's damn near got the same story as him.
Yeah,
as far as the background.
And you're right. Like, if they didn't have that scene with her and him like talking, and then how Johnny and what's his name fucked him over,
Yeah.
I would completely be like, okay, he's not going to turn a new leaf. But since it has the one girl that he actually was protective of and did care about, because even when he was just like, hey, fight how you want it, like he's doing what he should have done to Johnny.
Right.
That could be his like character arc of redemption towards like, hey, I kind of fucked up with Johnny, but here's my other student that I really care for, and I'm gonna let her do her thing. So yeah, it could go either way, and that's what I like about this show. Like I said, there's twists and turns. You don't know where it's going, and not everybody's like a generic fucking villain or like,
it's like they give you the background stories to care. There's people in this show I cared about, didn't give a fuck about, then cared about him again. Like right now, I still don't give a fuck about that black kid. I was hella mad when he got introduced. I felt hella bad, but now fuck him altogether.
You talking about when he was being bullied, introduced?
Yeah, I felt hella bad for him, but I'm really like fuck him. But then I'm like fuck the son too.
Yeah,
like still fuck you.
Even if he felt bad, I'm like, fuck you.
It's the same. Like they make you care, and then they make you like, man, fuck him, and then they make you care again. It's like they keep doing that.
Yeah, definitely for real.
I even said fuck Johnny, like at some points, but then it's like, I like this guy again. It's like they just give you that. They give you that the different angles.
Him as the Uber driver was fucking hilarious.
You said who?
Johnny as the Uber driver or Lyft driver, whatever he was fucking hilarious. He was yelling at the passengers.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yeah. Like, you're drunk.
Dude, but no, I think the standout moment is like what Josh said with the furniture dude, because you just swore he was like.
Yeah,
like on his ass, but he had turned his whole life around. But then when they burned this shit down,
he was hella bad. Another one I like is when you had all the people that what's his name, Daniel LaRusso, all the kids that he fought in each Karate Kid are coming together and talking about their interactions.
Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, me and him fought to the death, and John goes, "You a ghost then?"
They did a good. They did. This is probably the best season so far. Yeah, you know what? I can't. It just goes in a line like they're consistent. I think it is. They're just straight consistent through the whole thing.
You don't think there was a bad one, like Josh? Not a bad one, but like one that kind of dipped.
Nah, I can't say that because
the same level for you.
Because even if there was a moment it dipped, it came right back. Like the dip didn't last long enough to be like, oh man, fuck this season. Like, I haven't had one of those yet.
Okay, when I say like season 4 is like the weakest season, but I still enjoy. Oh, hold on, sorry, low battery. It's one of those things where like you see a show or movie where like, it's not that bad. It's good, but it's not as good as the other ones. Yeah, that's how I put season 4. To where I didn't say fuck the show, but I definitely, if we had to do a ranking, that would be on like the bottom part.
Wait, what happened at the end of season 4? Just so I can remember what season it is.
So they found out that Terry Silver bribed
the ref.
The ref.
It was
the tournament season.
Yeah. And then what's cool about in season 5, they tried to do it again, but wasn't aware of it, and then like the ref was like, he was like, fuck.
That's what he said, because he said make it to where he can't deny it, and it was just like, man, fuck.
Like I can't.
So that season was a tournament. I can't point out no flaws. Like I don't remember the bad parts. I don't think.
So Kreese brought Silver back. And then Silver double crossed him, but double crossing was at the end of it. But during the season, it was really just Silver being in the picture and what's his name?
The whole being convinced to come back shit.
Robbie was fighting with Miyagi-Do, or he was still at Cobra Kai.
He was Cobra Kai. And he was teaching like the Miyagi-Do ways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Miguel left to go to Mexico, so that's how it ended.
Yeah.
I think I like that. I think I like that because Hawk won.
Oh yeah.
He said, "I'm about to win this whole fucking tournament."
Yeah, I say one more season and just end it. Like as much as I.
But they signed up for 2 more seasons, right?
Oh, really?
I heard it was 6.
Oh, 6.
That's what I heard. I mean, they probably could, but what concerns me is that, some people might be like, oh, we can do more. But it's like, what can you do after? To me, after you go to like if this tournament's gonna be, I think you should go to Japan where Miyagi was from, like where Chosen is. I think if they go there and have the tournament, you can't go anywhere else.
And I think that's what they have to do. I think that's what they got invited to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's why I said I don't know where they're going from there. Like I don't know what they're gonna do after that.
I think they got a plan because it seems like they weren't. There's no fillers. It seems like they get to the point. Every episode seems necessary. I say like season 4 is kind of like low on the list compared to other like seasons in Cobra Kai. I still felt like it had like it wasn't slacking off. It seemed like it knew where it was going, and it got to season 5 in a good way. So I have a feeling that if they do like one more season or 2 more seasons, I feel like they're, know what they're doing. Hopefully, if they got the same right.
I think they should just do one more season.
Yeah,
because like after Kreese, like you're gonna bring another villain. You're gonna introduce another villain.
They introduced all the villains they have.
The funny thing is none of us remember Karate Kid enough to like be like, oh, they could bring that dude in.
Yeah.
Every time they introduce somebody, I'm like, I don't even know that motherfucker.
Because I did go back and watch like the first 3 movies after I watched.
How the fuck did you do that?
Each night, talking to Sam, that helped me get through the movie.
It was in the background.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, cool. Because I open the door, I'm in my room and I open the door. There's the TV right there. Sam,
you know what's funny? The worst from all 3 movies was Johnny. Like he was the worst. Every time I see that costume with the all black and like the skeleton painting, I think of him. Even since I was little, like I used to think that I was like, whoever wore that costume, fuck him.
Yeah, I'll say this. I think that's the most iconic or memorable, like filming out the young ones. But the other 2 were fucked up. Like in part 3.
No, so the reason why Johnny's the worst is because it started with bullying before the karate shit even played a part. It was just like you just picking on him for no fucking reason. He's like he plays that asshole in high school. Like you have no reason to not even like this dude, but you just like whooping his ass.
But that being said, let's say he met Mike Barnes before he knew karate. That motherfucker ended up in the hospital. Like at that point, I get you, but we're gonna talk about that. Yeah, like there's some fucked up shit that Mike Barnes and Chosen put him through. Even like you say, if he didn't know karate, like I was like, damn, this motherfucker hit. Even Chosen hit the girl that he likes. As a kid, it's like
he was out to prove a point.
Actually, give you a black eye. I was trying to Johnny.
The difference is he came into Chosen's world, and like it's not the same. Like I can't say Chosen had a reason.
Well, then yeah, man, no, because fucking he came into Johnny's world. He came in, talked to his girlfriend. He sucked her punch.
That wasn't his fault though.
Not like you gotta hear Johnny's story. What's his name? Daniel was the bully.
All right, Johnny's white. Okay, Josh, that's what he's white. Okay, he's white. That makes it worse. He's white.
Mike Barnes.
He had a white gang, and they were fucking picking on him for no reason.
Not because he was fucking coloring out his girl. Come on, man.
That's not his fault. She liked him.
Which one was Chosen in? Was he in part 2 or part 3?
Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Chosen was in part 2, and then Silver was in part 3.
Mike Barnes and Terry Silver
are in part 3.
Yeah, well, that's the only villains they have. Like, if you don't include the Hillary Swank one, part 4, that's all the villains they have. It's Terry Silver, Johnny, Chosen.
You know why I'm not so hard on Silver? It's because when Silver came out, that was around the same time as 3 Ninjas, and I'm like. Both of these motherfuckers with ponytails, but the 3 Ninjas ones was worse.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen Karate Kid 1 and 2. Don't really remember them. I don't recall ever seeing part 3. When they showed what's his name? Daniel's wife and kids went back home to her mom's, and then the cousins showed up. I was like, they're lingering on her for a reason. Like she's important somehow. And found out that she was in part 3. She's the redhead.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I didn't because I didn't see it, so I didn't know. But when they flashed back, that helped. And what I noticed about this show is they're good for that. It's almost like they're making sure, like, okay, people probably didn't see the original movie, so let's put flashes of what happened in them for context.
Yeah, they're good.
Really smart about it.
But that's what I said. Those writers are good. Those writers are taking those mini scenes and making a whole fucking story out of it. Those motherfuckers are good.
But bro,
when she popped up, they showed the flashback, and I was like, I know this actress. I've seen her and stuff.
Yeah.
And she was. Did you guys see Wildcats?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
She was the older daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got hella mad. I was like, oh, she's the one that got drunk at the party.
Yeah. Fuck. I ain't seen Wildcats in hell long, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
Oh, actually, you know what? Here's why I like Toby Silver as a villain. Remember, he was at the place where they were auctioning off the bonsai trees.
Oh, he's an asshole.
Free karate classes for everybody, Cobra Kai. And he goes to him, he's all, I don't know any use for them. I'll just throw them out.
he was like conniving as fuck. Like he was being nice, but then he would whisper some shit like, yeah.
Because he knew,
and then he pushed him. He was like, oh, and he fell to the table.
Because like you watch Karate Kid 3, what makes him like Terry Silver's the like messed up villain because he's fucked with that
mind games.
Yeah. So that's what make him probably like the best villain out of anybody in the Karate Kid series.
But on Three Ninjas, he stole the kids. He kidnapped the kids. And he fought Miyagi. He fought Miyagi's brother.
Oh, speaking of fight, the other part that had me cracking up was the women fighting at the bar. Because they were just
that shit was
so funny. I thought they were really going
to came through. She came through with a basic ass jump kick, and then they went home and talked about how good of a fighter she is.
I need to get back into karate.
Well, I was laughing because it was one of those things where the wife always gets on Daniel for like doing karate, fighting, and this shit happens.
Right. I was like, hi Kettle, you're black.
That shit is hilarious. She came through with that basic ass jump kick, and like somebody's got some moves. Like, calm down. It was anybody could have did that kick.
A superstar. Oh my god. Anyway, okay, so there'll be more seasons, possibly multiple of Cobra Kai before it's completely over.